It has to be said, man. So once again, it's Apex Sapien, the greatest sports analysis, entertainment analysis, just overall human being and YouTuber that all that ever exists. We got to talk about NBA players and just this level of simping they're displaying on public view. So you will look at an NBA player and say, look, this guy is tall, rich, handsome, has status, well known. Why the fuck do they make such horrible decisions when it comes to women? Like, it is beyond the comprehension of my logical abilities to understand why do NBAs choose to sleep with the same group of women and not just sleep with them. Like, that's bad enough. There's already so many women on the planet that need a man, but the idea that you guys are sharing baby mamas is it's incredible to me. So we got Brandon Ingram. Apparently, his baby mom, Aaleeyah Petty, is having a baby with Blazers player Anfernee Simmons. I don't know who Anfernee Simmons is. I've heard of Brandon Ingram. But this goes to show, like, what the fuck are NBA players thinking? Or is anybody teaching these guys or guiding these guys? Because you try to understand, you try to comprehend, you look at it from, like, their point of view. I'm an NBA guy. I'm rich. I got free time. I got money. I'm tall, status, everything that you could imagine that will give you an advantage in a man as a dating field. And yet the choices they continue to make are just beyond horrendous. And it's bad enough that they're sleeping with the same women. That's already weird to begin with, to be Eskimo bros, like, kind of on purpose, because the NBA circle is relatively small. There's 30 teams. There's about 20 guys a team. So we're talking about a league of about 400 players. And all the players intermingle and they change within teams. They party with each other. They're all kind of kicking the same circles for the most part. So a chick that's messing with one guy has probably been seen by multiple other guys, or she's well known around other guys. But yet you keep ending up with these PJ Washington type situations. And it begs the question, are NBA players just simps? Like, are they just naturally simps and they can't help it? Because then we also got the Zion situation where he's choosing to be a stepdaddy and he was messing with a porn star and the porn star came out and said that they had a relationship. So it's like we keep getting these different stories about NBA players just doing goofy, weird, sexual deviant shit. And now, like, we have, like, social media and TikTok and all these other things. The women are speaking out now. They're telling stories about NBA players doing some goofball shit. Like, there's a story, I think, with on No Jumper with some jump off chick where she said she essentially had a, like, 10 son with a bunch of players on the Suns. And I would hear things like that, and I would say to myself, dude, do you guys not, like, have your own Tinder account, or, like, can you guys just not swipe, or can you not just go on the city and go get a chick? Like, what would make you guys say, like, oh yeah, you know what would be cool if we all got together, got naked, and we started training on a well-known slut that probably has diseases and all types of fucking bad things going on with her. And yet these guys do it. And so it perplexes me and it confuses me, because I'm like, where does this start? Is this start like in high school, middle school? At what level do we start to realize that, like, NBA players or just basketball and players in general are just weird, soft, tall, goofy draft guys? And that we get way too much value on because we see their face and they play basketball, and a lot of guys are gambling alcoholics or gambling addicts. So it's very strange, because I don't know if it's a black thing, if it's an NBA thing, if it's an athlete thing, is it a tall guy thing? Because one of the things I have been able to recognize within the field is that tall guys tend to get played a lot when it comes to just the women game. Because one of my theories is that, like, tall dudes, if they're tall, women are like, oh my God, he's tall, and they fall in love. And then when they actually get involved in a relationship, they get their ass ate up, because once again, once a woman comes into your life, that becomes like her standard. So if you're 6'5", 6'5" is no longer relevant once she's been dating you for a minute. You're just a 6'5" guy, or you're just a guy at that point. And the same thing with money, same thing with status. At a certain level, she forgets who you are and she looks at you as a man. And that's one of the things I think guys fail to understand, is that you have to put your manhood and your principles before you put anything else above when it comes to dealing with women. And a lot of guys, I think it's a larger thing, a lot of guys just don't have ethics, or they're just way too soft and way too simpish when it comes to having a woman. And it's a very fascinating thing, because you continue to see this over and over and over again. And it just begs the question, it's like, how did this guy end up sleeping with somebody's baby mama? Then it's like, why do you have a baby mama? Like, I like a lot of things I kind of look at in the community is, like, I imagine when you get rich and you have money and you're actually, like, stabilized in some manner, I would think that you would go about, like, vetting a woman, bringing her into your life, meeting the family, going about things the right way, getting married before you carry. But no, these guys don't seem to, like, recognize that, which is very confusing, because they have so much free time. Like, say what you want. Yeah, NBA schedule is very, very tough during the season, but off the season, you have relatively a lot of free time. Like, you're kind of not busy 6-7 months out the year after NBA season's over. So when you're dating, what are you doing those 6 to 7 months with your lady? Why are you not vetting better? Why are you just going in Roski and not like taking better precaution? Like, you're not valuable. And it goes to another question, which is, do athletes see themselves as valuable as they get older as men? Do they see the status and the wealth, or do they see themselves as like hoopers that play 2K all day? Because what I'm willing to assume is, I think most basketball players just see themselves as like lame, goofy, overpaid hoopers. I don't think they have a lot of self-respect. Because when you kind of think about it in the long term of like manhood, most of these guys are relatively young. And they haven't really had a chance to really like be mentored by guys. And like one of the things you start seeing with the NBA is like the NBA is getting a lot younger. And so the old vets, there's not too many old vets that are really on all teams that are giving OG game. And then especially within this day and age, because an OG in basketball would be about 34, 35. So a lot of those guys are actually internet kids. So you essentially got internet kids mentoring other internet kids. And at this point, it's almost like they look at the woman like, oh my gosh, she has a bunch of Instagram followers. And that's like their claim to why she'd be a good girlfriend or wife, which I don't comprehend. Because I imagine back in the day, well, actually I shouldn't say back in the day, because Magic Johnson was kind of doing the same thing, but he still had a wife. A lot of those guys in the NBA, they were still married. A lot of athletes back in the day were still married. Now the marriages might have fell apart once they got like a little bit deeper in their careers and stuff like that. But they at least tried to do it the right way. Now they might go out there and cheat, which is respectable. I mean, God, you're on the road fucking 8 days out to 7 days a week. And so your wife and your family can't always go with you. So I can understand sneaking off and doing that little thing every once in a while. But at least they had a family life. They had something at home. These guys are just fucking Instagram models and wifing them up and getting pregnant and getting divorced and being baby models, just making all broken families when they got the revenue. And which is such an insane thing to think about, because your average man works so hard. He's working $20, $15 an hour, barely scraping by. And he at least wants to have a family structure. I can imagine myself as a millionaire with time and not spend that time to vet a woman properly to find an actual wife. It's beyond me. So I can't understand NBA players. They're very goofy, just draft guys. They get all these funny, dumb tattoos and crazy hair. And I think maybe that's the downside of playing a child's game for basically as like your way to make money, is that you don't ever grow up and learn responsibilities and how to be a man and just how to apply manhood principles, because everybody's sucking you off because you're fucking put a ball in the hoop. Anyway, LeBron James, divorce imminent. Peace.